And rest assured, guys, you surround yourself with the right people. You get up every day and you do all the right things. It's impossible to get the wrong result. It doesn't matter what the conditions are. Last year when we were going through all this, I kind of joked around, but I was serious when people said there's going to be a recession. I said, that's great. We're just not going to participate. The recession is a word that's spread on the news, man. That is not reality. Recession for the country doesn't mean squat to you. If you are pushing hard enough, you're surrounded by the right people, you're plugged in, your processes are right, you're getting up every day, doing all the right things, doesn't mean anything to you. It's an opportunity. And so don't be sold the story that is so often said to us, like, oh man, what lies ahead? Opportunity, friends, is what's ahead if you are able to seize it. But if you want to listen to the stuff that's on the news and how there's going to be a recession and the uncertainty of this, look at ways you can capitalize from it, and you will. If you look for opportunities of why you can make excuses, you'll find those too.
So I would say
couldn't agree more.
The recession topic is I would replace recession with transition, right? Whenever there's a recession, or a drop, it means that there's dramatic change. That's all it is. It's change, right? The way that we measure change, because we base a lot economically, is just change in value. A market dropped 30%, there was a change in value. That just means that, people, for whatever reason, don't have a lot of confidence in the future of the current way of doing things, and it's going to transition, right? So I think that, and one thing that's fantastic about transitions is they bring, to those that aren't afraid to look at it, in this, don't get me wrong, I don't want to put across like this isn't painful, because they are for a lot of people. And they're painful to think about, but transitions are also great. I mean, if you're the type of person that looks at it and, looks at how things are changing and what the impacts might be, or how things have changed, if it's after, and what the impacts are, you have the ability to build and react to that. And you can either, plan for it by looking ahead, or wait till it happens and change when it hits you, right? So, I mean, for me, the context is today, a great deal of my business is reliant on imported components from Asia, right? It's not what I chose, but it's what the realities are of the components that we need and where they're made. But the long term is, and if I want to give everyone a 10-year view of my vision of North America, say 10 to 20, that's going to change. The writing's on the wall that there's an appetite for, manufacturing locally. Global trade is not, it's proven that for whatever reason, and this is, for better or for worse, it doesn't matter whether I like it or not. Generally, people have an appetite to see things made locally and less dependence on, other countries and globalization. So I can choose to like that or not, but the realities is that that's going to lead to a change in supply chains, a change in where things are made. It's going to be a big change to consumers. Consumers are going to pay more, but that's a reality that we got to play ball with, right? It's going to go where it's going to go. And when I'm going back to earlier where I mentioned, recession versus transition, this could lead to a recession, but ultimately it's just a transition. It's one thing changing, from this to another. And, my challenge, in my businesses is to read that and to, and to react to it and to, make a plan that's going to allow us to go through those transitions, hopefully as smoothly as possible and with as little turbulence as possible. But it's something I think we all got to embrace, right? Transition is not something to be afraid of. It's something to get in front of, to think about, and to plan for. So I think I didn't mean to ramble on that recession piece, but it triggered. And I think that's an important point to think about. I mean, don't sit scared about what might happen. Just think about what it might look like, and build a picture in your head, and then relate that to what you think you need to do in your life and in your business to, to make the changes needed to prepare for it.